showing 6:32. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I believe we have a student that's gonna lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and you can start whenever you like. United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So you there? Yeah, I got you. All right, so we're gonna do roll call. We're gonna start with Sue, so there's no confusion. And then we're gonna, after Sue will be Stacy, and then we're just gonna go around the table. Go ahead, Sue.
Stacy Randolph Gendron, Karen right next to you. Karen Duffino.
Nicole Vivian McGrath.
Debbie Sherman. Molly Smith.
Mike Kusa.
Robert Carr.
Vinny Cadadella. Jacob Nepler.
Haley Hussein.
There you go. All right, do we have any amendments to the agenda? Any amendments to the agenda? Any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, we're gonna move on. Approval of minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the October 28th, 2025 Board of Education minutes.
Second.
All right, do we have any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Sue says aye. Abstain.
Aye.
And motion carries.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the November 12th, 2025 Board of Education minutes.
Second.
All right. Sue, respond first, please. All those in favor? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Audience of citizens. Does anybody want to speak? Anybody want to speak? Last time, anybody want to speak? Hearing none, we'll move on. Any board correspondence or communication?
Just one email. We had a parent email yesterday regarding special education concern that we forwarded on to Dr. Marina. That was it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, presentation, the Oxford Middle School, Ellen?
First off, welcome to our beautiful Library Media Center here. We're happy to have you all joining us this evening. We have some student representatives, so I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to hand the floor over to them. And Mr. Vachel is going to get us all set up. Excellent. Great, so our first group of students is our student government. Each year, our 8th grade elects representatives from their grade to lead them through the year and do fundraising and community and climate building events. They prepared some notes for you. We're missing one who wasn't able to make it, Demetrios. Oh, there we go. Leo Paoli, Callie, Terry, Miranda Kelly, and Demetrios Kudikas, he's not here. So why don't the three of you come on up? I'll step away.
Hi everyone, nice to see everyone. I want to quickly explain the process for how class officers work. In order to run for a class officer, candidates have to get permission slips signed by their parents/guardians, get teacher recommendation forms from previous teachers, make a poster to hang up in the 8th grade hallway, and write a speech that is given in front of the entire 8th grade class. Overall, there were 16 candidates in the running.
Our class officers this year include Leo as our president, I'm the vice president, Miranda is our secretary, and Demetrios is the treasurer. We all work very hard to get these positions, and we are very grateful for the opportunities that come with it.
To give you an example of what we do, we will talk about the recent Stuff a Bus food drive. Every day we went around during the wind to collect the food from the classes. Miranda organized and set up a Google Sheets that was used every day to track the food donated. Demetrios counted the cans brought in every day. Callie and I act as the point people for Mrs. Knapp and Mr. Rich. Working with Quaker Farms in Great Oak, we collected almost 5,000 pounds of food. At graduation, I will give a speech and Callie will say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our next school event will be to sponsor a spirit week before winter break. This is a great way to raise school spirit before the holidays.
Our tagline for the school year is ending middle school the best it can be. We want to make this year the best it could possibly be and do everything we can to help all of our peers. We will plan to get their feedback using Google Forms on what's working and what we can change.
The goals that class officers have for ourselves is to try and make changes that will benefit everyone so that we will have the best final year of middle school. We want people to look back and say 8th grade was a great year.
It is important that we represent our peers in a positive manner because they might feel more comfortable talking to us than talking to teachers. This is a great way for people with some social anxiety to express themselves in a comfortable way. We will help represent all of our peers, not only the most outgoing ones, but also the ones who might be a little shy. We will make sure no one's ideas get overshadowed. Overall, we are looking forward to making this year the best in the history of Oxford Middle School.
All right, so our next group is our student portfolio group. So this year, one of our goals this year is to embrace student-led conferences, which is a way to engage students in the work that they do in school. And if you know anything about restorative practices, one of the tenets is that people are happier and healthier when we do things to them or with them instead of to or for them. So engaging students in this process of developing these portfolios is one of my charges this year to myself and our staff members. So I'd asked the 8th grade teams to select 20 students that I could work with directly to try and model and work any kinks out. They provided me with 20 names, which we have started the work. And the students you're going to hear from tonight are ones who have done an exceptional job in putting their portfolios together from the beginning with little, help from me, right? I give them feedback, but they've really taken it and they'll speak about the impact it's had on them and how they're feeling about kind of looking at the work they're doing. We know when students self-report, it has great impact on their growth and achievement, which is something we want to make sure that we can expand to all of our students moving forward. So I will invite Gianna, Michael, Bella, Brooke, and Michael up here with me. And this is a smorgasbord of all their presentations. They've got a plan. You got it? You got it.
Hi, my name is Gianna Pizzagelli and I'm on the 8th grade blue team this year. I'm on the Oxford Otter swim team and I've been swimming for about 5 years. I like to learn new things in the classroom every day and my favorite classes are ELA and social studies. I'm an A student and I've been on the high honors roll for all my years here. I joined yearbook and I've also just joined Unified Sports. I was also elected for web leaders this year, which has been fun. How do I view my work habits? I participate in a whole classroom activities and discussions. I rate myself a 5 for this category because I like to participate every day in the classroom, answering questions and talking during discussions of group work. I work cooperatively with my peers in small groups. I rate myself a 5 for this because I love to work in groups, making sure everyone does the work, and I like to get it done on time and correctly. I'm respectful towards my teachers and other adults. I rate myself a 5 for this because I'm always respectful towards my teachers or adults and I don't disrupt the class or talk back to my teachers or get in trouble. I follow directions. I rate myself a 5 for this because I always follow directions every day in the classroom. I come to school ready to learn. I rate myself a 4 for this category because whenever I come to school, I'm prepared and mostly ready to learn. I use my time efficiently to produce my best work. I rate myself a 5 for this one because I always use my time efficiently to get my work done and win, which is either study hall or we get to do homework. I always do as much work as possible with very little talking and same in class or quietly and don't disrupt other kids. I treat other students with kindness and respect. I rate myself a 5 for this because I always treat others with kindness and respect every day I come into class. I also like to help others. I listen during discussions and instructions. I give myself a 5 for this category because I always listen and follow instructions. And lastly, my homework is completed on time and reflects my best effort. I give myself a 5 for this category because I always complete my homework, making sure it's my best effort. And when I get home, I try to get my homework done.
What does a typical day after school look like for me? So after school, I usually relax until my dinner is ready, which is around 4 p.m. And I eat. Once I'm done eating, I go to my room and start working on any homework or assignments I have to do until around 5:15 p.m. During this time, I usually am able to get all of my work done. At 5:30, I get ready to go to my sports, which is MMA or BJJ, depending on the day. Leave at 5:40 and get home at around 7:30 to 8 p.m. The first thing I do when I get home is take a shower and then I relax or talk to my friends so I don't try to overwork myself. And I usually get to finish any homework or assignments I do before I go to sleep, which is a habit I'm trying to break because I want to get it all done before I'm asleep. Anyways, reflect. I feel like this schedule fits me pretty well, but I would like to change doing my homework before I fall asleep so I can get proper sleep for the next day. How can my teachers help me be successful? My teachers can help me be successful after school by laying out the homework we have to do, not have it be any more complex or frustrating than it has to be. They can also post the homework or assignment we have to do on Google Classroom in case a student or, for example, me forgot to bring it home. They can also put notes in Google Classroom or slideshow they might have presented in class so I could refer to it back in case I didn't bring my binder home. This is useful in case I'm absent or cannot go to school that day. In this situation, I can just use my Chromebook to view anything that I might have missed. This can also apply to any student, not just me. How can my parents be successful? My parents can help me be successful by not disturbing me while I work and provide useful responses if I need help on an assignment.
So, go back one more. So the data slide is also part of their portfolios. We didn't want to put in any specific scores to each student, but they do reflect on their IXL score, their SBA score, as well as their student attendance. That's something that we've worked really hard for in the middle school to improve our attendance rate. And it's a big factor in how our students perform and achieve in school. All right, sorry, Michael, go ahead.
Thank you. Academic goals. One academic goal I have is to not have less than A or an A minus as an individual quarter grade. One academic goal I have, another academic goal I have is to participate in class more often, like raising my hand, answering questions, stuff like that. Another academic goal I have is to improve how I work together in groups during group projects because I usually like to work individually and find myself struggling to work with other people, but I hope I can improve that. Additional goals. One habit of work goal I want to create is to start doing my homework before everything else so I don't have to do it any later. For example, like how I referred earlier, I sometimes procrastinate and do my assignments until I have to go to sleep, which usually leads to me not having enough sleep for the next school day. One social or emotional goal I have is to help people understand a topic they might not understand and be understanding of their situation if they ask me for help so I can help my classmates better themselves. Reading goals. My independent reading goal is to find a genre of books that I genuinely enjoy reading and would read in my free time. I'm excited to explore the genre dystopia because the concept itself is real interesting to me because it lets the authors shape the world in any way they want. I hope to read around 3 books this year. This is the image of Stephen King, a famous author who has wrote books like It, Shawshank Redemption, and multiple of those books have been adapted into film or media where a lot of people have watched.
For my social studies artifacts, I chose this box that we were supposed to make in social studies, and I believe that it was the best choice to use to demonstrate because it represents being grateful for our heroes and honoring them through the monuments we've created, and that's what makes it meaningful, like this one. That's a dog that I had to choose, and that one, it was hugging the firefighter because they brought them comfort during that time. And this project, it mostly helped me learn history and it made me understand the significance of the 9/11 event and to recognize the heroes involved and what they've done for us. And yeah. Next up, I have my Spanish artifacts, and this one is my grade record. And I believe that it shows how my hard work and how it pays off into good grades because I've mostly had A pluses or A's here, except for an A minus, and it shows my learning level in Spanish and my growth. Every morning I go to Spanish, I complete multiple assignments, and this shows how much I've learned because I didn't have a B or a grade lower than that the whole quarter. I have my STEM artifact now, and it looks a little weird, but this is actually my Build a Body projects, which they gave you a bunch of like brains, the digestive system, and you had to put it somewhere. If it was wrong, then it wouldn't work. It was actually very hard, but my teacher, Mr. Panic, he helped us learn how to do it. And now I can code simple projects and apps, and it's a really valuable skill in case I want to do something like that in the future. And the picture shows how I've grown to learn coding. And I work hard in STEM every day, and this picture represents how I use my time in STEM to build something complex, and that gave me knowledge. So for my science artifact, I picked one of my grades for my science project. That this project was like the biggest grade for quarter 1. So basically you had to build a car that could hold an egg, and you had to build the car so that the egg could stay in and not crack while you like rolled the car down different heights. Basically my group, me and another girl, we built a small car that could go a little faster. So if we built it bigger, it wouldn't go faster. So we were the fastest car in my class, and we didn't break the egg with the different heights, and we got an A minus on this project. For my gym artifact, we were doing the state testing for gym, and we were doing the push-up test. And last year I did 21 push-ups, but this year I did 41. So it was a big improvement from last year. And then for my science project, or Spanish, we had to do a project where you had to choose 2 Spanish-speaking famous people, male and female, and then you had to do a slide on yourself. Basically, you had to like say like what you liked, your name, where you were from, what your nationality, and like all those stuff. And you had to present it with no words, just pictures on the screen in front of the whole class. And you had 2 big note cards that only had English, and you had to translate it while you were speaking in Spanish. And for me, this was a harder project for me because I don't like speaking in front of big crowds or like just like, especially in like a language I don't know. So I was like very nervous, but I got an A minus, so I was very excited about that.
So for my math artifact, I chose my grade record for quarter 1 because it shows my hard work and dedication that was being put into good use, which actually allowed me to have such good grades. And these grades are showing just how much I've been growing in math. And for every single day I enter algebra, I've always tried to take as much detailed notes as I possibly could in order for me to study them and try and do good on quizzes and tests. And it also helps with my memory, as I tend to forget quickly. So if I memorize all the equations and formulas, then I will be able to do good on big tests and quizzes. For my health artifact, I chose my SMART goal, which is basically a goal that I set for myself that I would complete over the school year. This assignment allows me to reflect upon myself and how I can improve every single day, trying to be the best version of myself. And it allows me to see how I can improve on assignments in classes like ELA, math, social studies, and science. And it allows me to think about not just schoolwork, but like how I do everything in general. And it allows me to see if I could keep my cool and take better time for myself. Then for my Spanish artifact, I chose my grade record as it shows my hard work and dedication also being put into good use for good grades in order for me to pass this class with flying colors. These grades are showing how I am improving my listening, speaking, and writing in Spanish, which is a subject that I have lost all motive in ever since my great grandmother died. So for every single day I enter Spanish, I've always tried to put as much effort that I possibly could to make it as great as I possibly could. And so far, it has been successful in every criteria.
For my ELA artifact, I picked a piece of descriptive writing. So at the end of 7th grade, which is last year, we had to write a fictional narrative. And I wrote about two sisters who got lost in the jungle and came in contact with many problems, but someone swooped in to help. I picked this because I think I did a good job. And I added in a lot of description, and we got a rubric and I followed it, and it helped me, and it was guiding me through the project, and I stayed focused, and I think I put a lot of effort into it, and I got a good class. So thank you.
Before starting the process, what was one thing you didn't realize about your own learning style or work habits that you now understand better? A thing that really stuck out to me about my own learning style and work habit was that I always seemed to have rushed through my works, and I was always quicker to understand something than most others. Due to me understanding quicker, I was always seemingly rushing through all my works, and it made me result in making it seem like I didn't put as much effort, and sometimes it would lower my grade into like a B or a C. And due to how I was taught in my old school, where I was just given a set time period as writing stuff like essays, it's hindered how quickly I tend to understand things too. So if I don't like understand something quickly, I tend to have trouble understanding it later in the future. So with my learning style, I always really depended on if it was a good explanation and if I could have a deeper understanding of it. And when it came to work, I usually rushed through it to see if I can understand it like that, or if I'm taking notes, I would copy down everything and try and understand it better like that.
After doing this slideshow, I feel more committed to achieving my goals because I want to finish them at the end of 8th grade. So every day coming to school, I'll work harder and push myself to complete these goals. And if I finish the goals I set, I'll set new ones to also complete by the end of 8th grade.
Because I went through the process of building this portfolio, I'm now better at time managing and mostly seeing how I work and trying to fix flaws that may not be beneficial to how I complete assignments or learn. And this is gonna help me through the school year because I'm able to better myself fully and I can apply those concepts to other topics that I'm learning or any units that I might be struggling with.
How does reviewing your past work and setting future goals change the way you feel about your schoolwork right now? So even though I did like really, really good last year, I want to push myself even further this year, and like make more challenging goals for myself this year so I can put more effort in my work. And I feel like if with those goals, if I finish those, I could just make even more challenging ones. And I'll just like, it'll encourage me to strive for like higher grades even, or just like better schoolwork and more effort. This portfolio is a presentation of your growth. What is the single most important message you want to share by you as a learner? As a learner, I believe the single most important message to share is that learning requires effort. Last year I used to not try a lot and I used to slack off, because I believed I had more important things to do with my time. But now I always make sure to try my hardest and apply effort. This has proven to pay off to me tremendously for me, because now I have mostly A's the whole year besides a couple B's. And so far I've learned things that I know will be beneficial to me later. But in the end, learning is a journey that doesn't stop, and one that applies you as much knowledge as the effort you put in. And yeah, thank you.
Great job. They did a lot of work, so every one of them has one of those completely done, right? So they all put a lot of work in from a larger scale, and we're looking forward to continuing. And they have artifacts in, and hopefully their parents are have gotten a sneak peek now, but we'll come back in March for student-led conferences when we pilot that side of this process. So we're really looking forward to that. I'm gonna take a couple minutes and just talk about our school improvement plan. Here at the middle school this year, we are living by our car theme. You might have seen me and Mr. Rich were Mario Kart for Halloween this year, and you know, we're on the road to excellence. Every student, every mile, every student. And so, you know, all systems go. We're going to present you a plan to boost our teaching and empower our students. So got that. All right. So firstly, to elevate our instructional quality here at the middle school, Mr. Rich and I will continue with our evaluation plan that aligns with district and the district goals, as well as high quality instruction, which are all part of our TVAL or leader evaluation plan as well. Provide effective feedback to our teachers, be more present in the classroom to best meet the needs for academic growth and achievement of our students. We'll also work to foster an inclusive, supportive, engaging school culture where everyone feels safe, respected, and possesses a strong sense of belonging. That will happen through the climate committee work that we've already started on. All the schools in the district from the state level, right, are working on those climate improvement plans here. And we're now engaging students in that process as well. We have parents on our committee, staff, a paraprofessional, and a teacher as well. And continue to look at our win periods to best meet the needs of all students, right? Those who need more targeted support and those from the enrichment perspective. Increase student voice. You've heard tonight, right? We like to hear what they have to say because they have really great things to say about their work. And like I tell them, they typically listen to each other more than they listen to them. So we'll tap into that a little bit. And, you know, work on our communication and continue to grow on that and take a look at our attendance and behavior data. Mr. Rich leads our attendance committee that meets monthly. Again, we've had great growth with our attendance and decreased chronic absenteeism. So we want to continue to build on that. And also look at our behavior data, also with Mr. Houston. And we will also implement a strategic multi-platform communication plan. You get my weekly newsletters, hopefully. Those continue. We're beefing up our Instagram, our social media, and then any communications as needed. Last week, we had our students up in Boston on their first overnight trip in a minute. And I sent out, you know, little photo albums to the families that they could get a glimpse into their kids' lives from the adult side. I'm sure their kids were sending them pictures, but sometimes it's nice to have the adult perspective. And then the last two things we're focusing on are, you know, clarifying and formalizing a common instructional vision here. So we'll be developing a shared vision. We'll continue to expand our peer-to-peer evaluation process here. Last year at the mid-years, we had a small cohort of teachers who wanted to go see other teachers. We asked, and so we opened that to the whole staff. So we're gonna continue to grow that this year here. Student-led conferences, Mr. Williams is helping us a lot with our vertical and horizontal alignment. And then working on literacy and numeracy across our contents as well. And then the capital improvement, right, any programming changes that need to happen here, we're blessed to be in such a new building. You know, if I could build an auditorium, I would, but, that's okay. We love our space, we're in this beautiful library that we're really utilizing now with Mrs. Sizer, our library media specialist. We're starting our first readathon next week, so we're really trying to tap in, but we'll of course work with facilities, regarding any systems and space needs here. Anything else? That's our school improvement plan, road to excellence, every student, every mile. We're really having a great year and we look to continue. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Anybody got anything?
I'm just.
Thank you, Ellen.
All right, great.
Great job. Okay, so we'll take a second. Those of you that were here for the presentation, feel free to exit if you would like to. You can, obviously, you can stay if you wish to. But we do have a lot to cover tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
You're gonna watch yourself? No. Please there.
Okay, so we're on to number 6 on the agenda, the election of new board of education members. So to begin, I don't know whether my glasses on or off here. We're gonna lay out the process is how we do this. So this comes from board policy 9120, the election of officers. And I'm just gonna read the policy, abbreviate it where I can. So here it is. Sue, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. And just so everyone knows, Sue's gonna drop off after we're done electing officers. All right, all officers of the Board of Education shall be elected from the membership of the board and hold office for a term of 2 years. Except, in case of a resignation or removal as provided herein. Whenever there is a vacancy in the office of chairperson, vice president, or secretary, the board shall elect a new officer to fill the vacancy during the unexpired term of office at the next regular board meeting, unless a special meeting is called prior to the next regular board meeting. Election of officers shall be majority vote of those present and voting. If you look at our agenda, we have covered the Sue being on the phone. Okay, and as long as everybody's good with that, we're gonna move on. The election process. The Board of Education shall elect from its members at the organizational meeting, a chairperson, vice chairperson, and secretary. The organizational meeting shall be called to order by the current board chairperson. That's me, who will preside until his or her successor is chosen. What that means is if there is a new chairperson elected, that chairperson will take over this meeting as soon as the vote is over. In the absence of chairperson, the vice chairperson or secretary in that order shall preside until the new chairperson is elected. The process shall be as follows. The person leading the meeting shall explain the process for election. I just did that. And I'm gonna continue to do that as I go through the 7 bullet points here. They will then proceed to ask for nominations for the vacant position. All nominations are made with a second. So there must be a nomination and there must be a second. After all nominations for a position are made, the leader presiding will open the floor for discussion of nominees for the position. So after we have our second, we will have a discussion. After closing the discussion, the presiding leader shall ask that all in favor of candidate one, please say aye. Names of those voting for the candidate are noted. Because Sue's on the phone, I'm gonna ask her to say yay or nay. Continue, number 5, continue with any other nominations for that position in the same manner. Once all votes are tallied, the candidate with most votes is elected to that position. We're gonna go through all three. We're gonna go through secretary, vice president, and chairperson. Number 7, in case of a tie for chairmanship, there shall be another vote taken. If a tie persists after the second vote, the first selectman, as an ex officio member, shall break the tie. Election of officers shall, I just lost it. Election of officers may be made available for public inspection. I got you back, Sue. I'm gonna reiterate that in case of a tie for chairperson, that there shall be another vote taken. If a tie persists after the second vote, the first selectman as an ex officio member shall break the tie. Election of officers shall be made available for public inspection within 48 hours and recorded in the minutes of the meeting. If chairperson and or secretary are not chosen within a month, the board of selectmen shall choose such officers for the board meeting. This bylaw was adopted by the board December 1st, 1998, and it was revised on February 1st, 2000, March 10th, 2015, and November 14th, 2017. So we're gonna start with secretary. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Vinnie Gonzalez.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, so that Vinnie can see you. If you vote aye, and please, Sue, after we get done, I'm gonna ask you where your vote is. Okay? All right, please raise your hand to signify aye for Vinnie.
Aye.
Sue? Thank you. All right, vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Deb Sherman.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, Sue? All right, so just to make this official, everybody in here, raise your hand for Deb. All right, motion carries. Congratulations, Deb. Congratulations, Vinnie. All right. Board chairperson, do I have any motions?
I make a motion to nominate Mike Kuza.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I could ask a question.
Yes, you can ask a question. Sue, hold on a minute. Stacy's gonna ask.
Mike, how long have you been on the board?
6 years.
Have you ever been in that position before?
I've been secretary and I've been vice chair.
What do you hope to bring to the board as a new chairperson?
Honestly, to start off, unity, to bring the team together, to work towards what's best for kids. That's my focus, is to do what's best for kids and to create an environment that we can be successful in doing that.
Do you think that we don't have unity prior to this?
I'm not saying that, it's my approach and how I'd like to conduct myself as board chair.
Anything else?
Oh, I could ask questions all day.
Go ahead.
If you could assign 3 words to your leadership style, what would it be?
Integrity, unification, and forward movement.
Do you think transparency is important?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Sue? Anybody else? I'm gonna ask you a question. Why do you wanna be board chair, Mike?
I have 2 years left on my current term. I'd like to bring the board together and I'd like to work towards the betterment of kids.
What would you say to the? So you're looking for unification. What would you say to the fact that there's gonna be some votes no against you tonight?
That it's honestly, people need to vote how they feel and what they think is best. I encourage that, and that's okay.
I agree, people should vote how they choose to. Okay, so any other discussion? Okay, all right, for the purposes of election of the board chair, all those in favor of Mike, please say aye.
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 Okay.
Okay.
Sue, because you're on the phone, I need to hear what you're gonna say. Okay. So hearing the votes, Mike has the nomination, he has earned the nomination for the board chair. Congratulations, Mike. You are the new chairman of the Board of Education.
Thank you.
You got all the paperwork? Do that.
Okay, at this time, appreciate it. For the appointment of Board of Education committee members and chairs, I'd like to push this off to the next business meeting, as I have time to meet with all the board members, hear what they would like. Hear what they'd like to, what committees they'd like to be a part of, what subcommittee chairs, people are interested in, and I need more time for that. So is there a motion to postpone?
Make a motion to postpone the appointment of Board of Education committee members and chair.
I'll second it.
The next action item is the appointment of the board. Oh, pardon me.
You're back in a different role.
Yeah, I know, it's a roll. Any discussion?
Thank you. I think it's great to have more time to feel out between the meetings before we have to make a decision.
Excellent. Any other discussion? At this time, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Okay, I think Vinnie, this might be your favorite, action item, is the appointment of the board clerk. Dr. Marino, do you have anything? Say, I know you conducted the interview.
Yes, we actually met with him a couple times. Dr. Mullen met with James and I met with him. And as you can see by his resume, quite the experience, and is very excited to serve as our clerk of the board. And he's gonna be here in person, starting on December 2nd.
Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the hiring of James Light to the board chair position. I mean, the board clerk position.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Okay, another action, is it MOA or an MOU?
Well, the paper says MO, you can do MO, it doesn't matter.
Well,
MOU.
It's an MOA for nurse supervisor position. Dr. Marino, do you have anything to add to this?
This is a position that we had back in 2022. It stopped for some reason. I can't seem to find out why. But it's a very important position that we need. So we met with the nurses union and we're able to put this position back. This is a new union for us, so it would become part of their collective bargaining agreement. But we're very excited to have this position back.
Excellent. Do we have a motion for this, new, position?
Motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Oxford Board of Education and UPSEU Local 424, Unit 40 at the nursery.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Oh, the only reason that this position went away was the person left, and it never came back.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Okay, snow removal contract. Dr. Marino, do you have a recommendation for the board?
Yes, we received 3 proposals and, we are recommending, Prestige Landscaping.
No, the amount?
$84,600.
Do we have a motion on this, contract?
Make a motion to approve the board, snow plow contract to Prestige in the amount of $84,600.
Do we have a second?
Also,
Any discussion?
yeah, really quickly, this went through the right process. Thank you, Deb, for guiding us through that. And it was, to my knowledge, it was the cheapest of the 3 bids that we got. It's all it is.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Okay, I guess we're looking to create an ad hoc committee for the Board of Ed handbook.
Yes. Yes. So I know Vinny and Deb expressed interest, a couple weeks ago. Anyone else?
What does that entail?
Well, we have a working draft from a few years ago, and it's basically to, finish it up and publish it.
Yeah, I believe if you look back to the last meeting, you can find that document in the,
Okay,
in Word docs of that meeting.
I can also share it. with you. Okay.
Let's hope-
often will you be meeting? Shouldn't be more than 1 or 2 meetings, because all done is just updating.
We can do a
and
lot of it
filling in the
remotely
gaps.
too, but I think it would be helpful to have one of the, at least one of you new members to be there to kind of put that fresh eyes on it and see if it would be something that would be helpful as you're transitioning in.
And I don't think we need it as an ad hoc, we could just do it as a group of people, ad hoc, you have to actually make a motion to create the ad hoc, give it a mission and all of that stuff. You know, we could just do it a group of us. So. Well, I
Is
think
there a board policy on creating just a meeting or?
there's a board policy on creating an ad hoc committee, which you have to go through, give it a mission, what it has to be. Just don't know that ad hoc is necessary at this time.
As long as we don't have a quorum, that's okay, policy wise?
Yeah, I mean, we'll double check it, but yeah, I agree. I know there's one on the subcommittees and the process to a point, but right, as long as we're not quorum, it's just a discussion.
Correct, I don't think we need a motion for that.
No.
Very excited. Do we have any?
We can do, probably do most of it. Yeah.
We can do it, yeah, via email or, Zoom.
Okay. Now that we've had time to, look over the school calendar. We have a motion and then we can have a discussion.
Sure, motion to approve the, 2027 school calendar as presented.
Do we have a second?
Well,
Okay, I'd like to open it up for discussion.
so, is there an issue with June? We look at the calendar
Sure, there should.
with June,
What do you mean?
I just mean with dates, like,
The last day is the 11th.
I know we normally meet after graduation, I get that, but Sue mentioned to me something about, meetings, or, I guess it was excuse me, I'm sorry, this was Board of Education meetings, not school, so I I retract what I just said.
So has anyone looked, because I know that the younger kids, has anyone looked into talking with Sanka or the schools aren't even open, so that probably can't be an option.
You mean for the Christmas break?
Yeah, and it's not open, so.
So you're talking about the two
The 2
weeks, yeah. I can add some insight into that. Having discussions during our, agenda setting meeting with Ralph, Mike, myself, and, Vinny, we basically came up with every few years, this is something that's gonna happen. It's not ideal, but if we were to do things differently, it would upset the beginning and the end, and we would be graduating when in June, Ralph?
A week before.
So that's the second week of June, first week of June?
First week.
First week of June, which is,
That's really early.
that's really early. So, I don't mean to speak for Mike or for Vinny, but I think we came to a consensus during that meeting that this was probably what was appropriate, with the understanding that this was gonna place some parents in a really kind of tough situation for the, Christmas break. I don't know if Mike or Vinny wanna speak to that, but that's how we how it kind of shook out.
I had a question, Dr. Marino, how many days do we normally have for Christmas break? Because my understanding is that the difference between a traditional one and this one is not a full week, it's a few days or 2 days.
Yeah, we usually have a week and a half.
So,
Doesn't matter if 2 or 3 days.
Right.
Have parents been told at any time for input on what, because, I mean, looking at the calendar, you have 3 half days before this even comes on. It's a lot for parents to take some time. It's, especially in the month of December alone, that's a lot of time, that's 3 half days and a full 2 weeks. I mean, it's just a lot for parents. Is there any way that early dismissal for professional learning could be moved? So that you're only getting 2 half days instead of 3, just looking at it,
But does Sanka run during those half days? Yes. So, I mean,
but that's not for the greater school community,
Oh, yeah,
that's
I'm
only for
sorry.
parents who are
I'm sorry.
enrolled. So I'm just thinking, that's a lot for parents.
I wouldn't disagree with you about the number of half days, but that's a much larger conversation.
Okay. So it
Overall,
just-
we
it seems like there's
have a
lot of half
significant
days.
amount of learning loss here because of half days, but we'll save that for another year. But that's gonna rock a lot of people nervous. And also the day of the week that falls on. I have concern about Fridays.
If I may, in years past, Sanka's done, they've run, camps during like spring, and they have the summer ones in different schools. So would it be a possibility to get in contact with them to see if they're doing it in another school or to try to get it running in another school? Like, we had Seymour High, Chatfield was another school.
the summer one runs at Seymour Middle.
Now, Seymour Middle, I haven't been in Sanka for quite a while, so I don't really, but it was Seymour High when I was in elementary school.
So I kind of agree that it's a lot of time, and it's hard on families to plan. We see families struggling now financially have to save vacation time for that period of time. It's just gonna be really hard for some. It's a lot for families, so I just have a concern how the community's gonna react to it.
How many children are going without meals during that time as well? In the community who receive free lunches or just the thought.
Can I make a recommendation?
Sure.
So I have no issue with when the school year starts. I think the main issue comes into play with the long, Christmas break. What if we had school for the 21st and the 22nd and did a half day on the 23rd? That recoups 2.5 more days. You tack that on to the end of the school year. Or you deduct it from the end of the school year. So now we're really, you're still in the second week of June. And we have no idea what's gonna happen weather-wise. We've had a tornado, we've had a flood, we've had years where we've gone to school until June 29th. And nobody has a crystal ball, and we don't know if that's gonna happen again. So I would rather have the kids get out earlier in June and have them go to school in December. The other issue I saw on this calendar is we're doing a professional learning day on a half day on the second to the last day of school. I mean, how effective is that actually going to be? So I'm wondering if we could move that professional learning day to say November 25th, when it's already a half day, but it doesn't seem like there's professional learning going on then. Then our staff would actually have some meaningful PD, and they may actually be able to use it for the rest of the year.
I'm curious, because I don't know what the PD was for. I know that during summertime, they do a lot of workshop where they write curriculum or they work on different activities. So I don't know if the timing for at the end of the year, I don't see Eric here. Well, usually it's done with a purpose. I don't know what the purpose of that particular professional learning opportunity. It sounds like the board, I don't, we can do a vote, but it sounds like the board is looking for modifications to this calendar. Dr. Marino, what subcommittee would this fall under?
I would ask the board to take a vote.
Okay,
I went on the record.
fair enough.
Thank you.
So at this time, is there any further discussion? Okay,
So I just have a question. So if we don't approve this, then there's times for to make modifications, just as long as we took a vote on it.
Yep.
Okay.
okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor
Of this one?
of this calendar? So,
We're done.
all those opposed?
It's
4.
it's 4 and 4, yeah.
Any abstentions? I don't think, this motion,
Didn't pass.
Didn't pass.
did pass.
We're for
Well, can we get Sue back on the phone?
You wanna try getting Sue back on the phone? Hi, Sue,
It's Mike.
and Bobby, on Bobby's phone. We're calling, we have a motion and we wanted to get your vote on it for the 2026-2027 school calendar.
Yeah,
That's for the Board of Ed meeting, Sue.
I'm just gonna object because I feel like this is out of order. I mean, we've already voted on it and she wasn't part of the discussions, so I don't know, see how we can do this unless we revote it.
I'd say at that point,
Could we open the discussion again? Well, she's on. So
Reopen this
I can
discussion?
make a.
right now, we're gonna reopen the discussion. So
So that's part of the discussion.
for those that are not, those that would like to, talk,
So Sue, the concern is the, amount of time in December, the loss of, time for parents to have to take off from work. It's an awful long time for some of the families that are struggling. And it just seems like a difficult time for our people in our community.
It's more than like 2 weeks of Saturday.
Labor Day falls, right? So we either have a week before school, wasn't that the discussion the last time?
Yeah.
yes.
We're discussing different options and right now we're being given the option of accepting the calendar as is. We're right now, 4 of us have an issue with it and we would like to discuss it further. And you would be the tie-breaking vote. Some of the issues that came up Sue, had to do with food insecurity too. Are kids gonna get fed during break? They're gonna be out of school for 2 continuous weeks. There's issues of learning loss. The idea was that we give back 2.5 days over Christmas break, and that means they get out a little bit earlier in June. But it also gives us a buffer, because if you recall, there was one year that we lost a week of school because of the hurricane, the tornado. And then we've also lost a week of school because of the flood, and nobody has a crystal ball, and we don't know what's gonna happen weather-wise. So, we would like,
2.5 days, so like, well, shorten Christmas break by 2.5 days, is that what you're suggesting?
correct, before the Christmas
Before
holiday,
Christmas?
yeah.
Like, what day is Christmas? Christmas is on,
Friday.
Friday?
Yeah,
Okay, so they would go to school Monday, Tuesday, and have it day Wednesday?
exactly.
Okay.
What's the
And
difference?
then get out a couple days early in June, a couple days earlier than what we usually do?
Correct, and there's also some discussion too about, we have a lot of half days for professional development, and we would have an opportunity to discuss as a board, do we wanna rework that?
Okay.
And there's a professional development scheduled the day before we get out of school. So the last day on this calendar is the 11th. We have a PD day on the 10th.
Stacy, you wanted to, 1 second, Sue. Stacy, you had something to add?
So I was just, are you saying that you would take the Monday and Tuesday before Christmas and then shorten the school year 2 days?
Yeah.
To the 9th?
Yeah.
But that would allow us to have snow days too. Like, if you're
Yeah,
starting
I
at the
think you
ninth,
still
and
get
then,
5 snow days.
yeah, and then you're adding on, then.
We also get 2 days for winter break, so why couldn't we cut one of those?
Then
If
you
they
get
wanna
into
have the
the-
Wednesday for Christmas, that'd be fine, but they have to lose one of the Christmas break, or the winter break. They take the 16th that day instead of having a 2-day break, now they have a 3-day weekend, but they also hit their earlier dismissal on the day before Christmas.
Won't it become a union issue if you start taking time from, February vacation or this or that? I think then it opens up more things. And then the thing with, you know, you send them into school the 21st and the 22nd. Just out of experience before a holiday, the teachers are still gonna call out. They're gonna not come to school those days. Now you have to put subs in those rooms. And how really effective is that before Christmas? Is that usually happens.
But we're also not asking our parents to find daycare for those days that they wouldn't normally have had to pay for.
Aren't they gonna need more time in June if you let them out earlier? They're still gonna need more time in June.
There's usually more summer camps provided, there's usually more options for childcare.
I don't know exactly what time or dates they start, but I'm sure they go with, you know, Seymour's calendar and Southbury, because we're in one general vicinity.
But June's also mid-year for
Right.
people's vacation, where December's end, and if we have kids that are sick and mom and dad have to take time off for
Yeah,
those
that's
days,
part of being a parent.
you know, and you don't have anybody else to take care.
It just seems like a lot because you have 3 half days before a 2-week break.
Well, December 11th,
The half day, and then you have Quaker and Goes. which is
December
half 2 half
25th.
Days in the month of December before a 2-week break.
Second and third.
oh, I see. For conferences.
So do we have any further discussion?
So you got anything?
Yeah, Casey's point with, teachers, the 2 days before Christmas break, there's not a whole lot of, they're all just playing games and whatever at school. I don't know, it's a tough call. I personally would like 2 weeks. If I was a kid, I would like 2 weeks at Christmas, but, I see the valid points of childcare and that as well. So what are we exactly voting on?
Whether we adopt the calendar or not,
As presented.
as presented.
What do we do, go back to the drawing board and rediscuss it?
Yeah.
Now,
Any other discussion?
What is the urgency in getting this done? I know in years prior, this hasn't came out as quickly.
Yeah,
It seems
usually
like this
April.
came out in like March, April. Is there just a sense of urgency to get it done for
No,
planning?
planning purposes, this is, from my experiences, if we get it done early, that we can disseminate to parents for planning camps, all those types of things.
Any other discussions? At this time, I'm gonna call a vote. All those in favor? Stu, would you give your vote?
So I'm just trying to make sure I know what I'm voting on. So either adopt the calendar or we go back and discuss it for further discussion. Because it sounds like we need further discussion. So we would just vote to rediscuss it. Is that what we vote on?
You would vote if you do not want to adopt this calendar as is, you would vote no.
And then we go back and discuss it. So then if we vote no, we're just saying we're gonna relook at it.
Yes,
Correct.
correct.
Okay, all right. Then I say, it sounds like we need to have more discussion, so I vote no.
All those in favor? All those opposed?
No.
The nays have it. The motion does not pass.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Stu. Drive safe.
Thanks for the information, so,
Safe travels back, Sue.
thanks.
Okay, moving on to the sixth grade field trip to outdoor classroom.
Motion, excuse me, to approve the sixth grade field trip to the outdoor classroom.
All right, you have a second?
Second.
Opening up for discussion.
I had a hard time following it. So is this overnight, Ellen?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so last night was our first year doing it, the sixth graders, we did like a hybrid model, some students spent the night, 2 nights there, and some went for the day. This year, there was a lot of logistical challenges, so they're doing just the overnight this time, and that's their request. They go up to, it used to be called Nature's Classroom, it's now called Outdoor Classroom. They're there up, in Lakeside, and they have their own program, their curriculum, their own teachers that run a variety of different sessions. There's a lot of student choice involved pertaining to every content, right? It's not just science, they do like poetry and all different things, out there. Does that help?
It does. Would you mind coming up, Doctor? And as far as cost is concerned, does PTO help with the cost?
Yeah, PTO helped last year, so once we get approval, we would put into them, for that, which we should get based on the money we have available. I don't know how to explain it, but-
Ellen, this is something we've done, other than the COVID stuff, this is something we've done every year for.
This is the second year.
Oh, okay.
This was new last year. I'm not sure before my time, I have not heard of anything, at least at the middle school. Sometimes like 5th grade goes, but I don't think we've gone to nature's, I used to go to nature's classroom, so I don't think we've gone to outdoor classroom.
Deborah, Mike, or somebody who's been on the board a while, is this something you've done consistently,
I've never heard of it.
other than last year?
It was new for last year,
Yeah.
so.
But my part, I think it's a good.
The school's done it for many years and phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's great, get them outside for sure.
Where do they do it?
It's Lake Camp,
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Washington, Lakeside, doesn't sound like a real town to me, sorry.
It's small.
Yeah, it's a small little lake, Camp Washington in Lakeside, Connecticut. It's only 30 minutes away, so if there's any issues, parents can have access to full students or, whatever that looks like.
And how many nights is it? Just one night? 2 nights?
It's 2 nights. Yeah. 2.5 days.
Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Great, thank you.
Okay, on to budget transfers. No, I was wondering if you could walk us through these. There's, I think, 3 of them.
Yes.
My apologies, we weren't sure exactly where to put these. We looked at old minutes and we couldn't see. I didn't know if it goes under the finance report or it would be a separate item, so we put it in here. So there are three. So the first one is a transfer from the building maintenance contracts in the amount of 20,000 to the repair and maintenance fund for the high school. The 20,000 is not needed in that account because as we did the maintenance for the boilers and filters, we actually assigned that cost to each campus. So it's already been captured in each of the individual buildings.
Correct.
And the high school is year to date 18,000 over the current budget. The second one is a move from the HSA board contribution account to the water account. You can see we still have after our encumbrance, so we already paid our essentially first half for those employees who were already working in the district. Their HSA contributions already been paid out, except for everybody's been hired in the last couple weeks. And we already have that amount encumbered for next year, or sorry, for the first half of next year, so same fiscal year. That left us with about 74,000. So we still have a good cushion in there. And the reason the water is already over budget, the sewage bill went up $7,000. We got that bill about a month or so ago. And then the water cost has increased a smaller amount. But it has increased some the rate. And the sewage count comes from this Seymour board sewage. And then the second one is a second transfer from the BOE contribution in the amount of 12,000 to the propane account. We discovered that in the budgeting process, somehow we missed we have two contractors that provide propane. We're looking to consolidate that to one. But the HOCON contract or the HOCON amount that has been budgeted for the past prior years that we still are using was not budgeted for. So that is where the 12,000 comes from. Both of these transfers would still leave us approximately $53,000 of available balance in the HSA contribution line. So if we have more employees who come in at the spring, it basically gives us about 40 people we could cover their second half contribution if we needed to at this point, and hopefully we don't need that.
Okay, do we have a motion for these transfers?
Motion to approve the transfers as requested by the finance director.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Actually, were you able to find out if the water that went into the catch basin had any effect on this whatsoever?
So I did look into that. I didn't see any bills that were drastically out of, I looked from last year to this year at around that, like July time. Like July to September, I didn't see anything that was out of whack from this year to last year. Actually, I think this year's was actually a little bit lower in that time frame, so it must have hit in June. But this time, that time frame we were looking for at the beginning of the fiscal year wasn't affected.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Okay. Nicole, I don't know if you wanna handle the next.
Sure. So we have two new policies for your consideration. It's down for a second read, which means we're gonna vote on them tonight. The first one has to do with the school camera and surveillance policy. The policy acknowledges that we have school surveillance cameras on our campus, that they monitor and record, that those recordings could be used by administrators in deciding appropriate disciplinary action. It further specifies that where there's a reasonable expectation of privacy, we will not have cameras such as in the school locker rooms or in the bathrooms. Does anybody have any questions with the policy as it's written? Okay, hearing none, I make a motion that we approve the policy as written.
Second.
All those.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Thank you. The second policy has to do with our ASOs, which are our armed security officers. We've had armed security officers for a while, but we never had a policy before. This acknowledges it defines who can be an ASO, and it directs the superintendent to develop, adopt, and maintain administrative regulations in furtherance of this policy. Does anybody have any questions about the policy for ASOs? Hearing none, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the policy as written.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Report of the superintendent.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. First of all, congratulations to Mike, Deb, and Vinny. Look forward to working with you. Also like to welcome our new board members, Molly, Stacy, and Karen. Welcome. To Ellen and to Aaron, great presentation. The students were phenomenal, so thank you so much for putting that together. Just a couple update items. I was fortunate enough to attend my very first Connecticut Association of Public School Superintendents Conference, and was absolutely able to hear from the former Secretary of Education, former Commissioner of Connecticut, and a little bit over 100 of us from the Connecticut superintendents, a little bit different than the other conference. And really, those conversations with the facilitators, but also with my colleagues, and that, we're dealing with lots of similar issues from across the state. So it's just nice, it's very therapeutic to have those conversations, and that you're not alone when you're dealing with some challenging issues. One of the goals that we have this year is implementing our district-wide evaluation system. So all the goal setting has been completed with our administrators. And Gary and I have now started the cycle of observing our administrators. So we're enjoying those this time with our administrators and whatever setting they're in. It's a meeting, data, could be a data meeting, lots of different things that are going on. So it's really nice to have those time with them. December 16th, we'll have our budget presentation, proposed budget for 26-27. We're working on that. And we've had a kickoff meeting with Friar Architecture. They're putting together a 10-year capital improvement plan. They've been in the district a few times already, looking at our facilities. And the goal there is to make a presentation to us at the February 10th workshop meeting. The work at the CEP building is progressing. It wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. The water break was under the building, not in the sidewalk on the parking lot, so that saved us a few bucks. We have the fire marshal do an inspection on Monday, and hopefully we'll be in shortly thereafter, and we can uphold our promise, our partnership with Monroe. The communications audit plan is rolling along. We had a kickoff meeting. We've set our 2 in-person forums and our 2 virtual forums with our facilitator, and everything goes according to plan. That too will be presented to the board at the February 10th workshop meeting. Lots of school events that are going on. It's just endless, but a couple, the big ones that we've had, of course, we had homecoming at the high school. It was honored to be part of Red Ribbon. Judging here at the middle school, that was a lot of fun. Ghost had their drama production, absolutely amazing, very talented future theater art students for our middle school and high school productions. And absolutely love the 3 students and their families who were selected at Quaker Farms. I forgot exactly what they won, but they were picked up at their house by fire truck and delivered by fire truck. And it was just absolutely, so I've never seen it happen before. So it was just amazing community partnership, and the students and the families were just very, very happy. Last week, Whitson's our food service company who provides our food service. They have a program, Lunch with Leadership. I've had luncheons in our cafeterias my whole career, but they actually have a program where the superintendent serves lunch. So at the high school, I had my apron and hat, and I served 3 lunch periods and lunches, and I got the chicken sandwich, and that was heavy volume. There was like over 100 each lunch shift, so. I did kind of go over a little bit. I was too generous with the pickles and the French fries. So, third shift, I had to kind of take it back a little bit on the volume of French fries and pickles, so. And lastly, our $500,000 network upgrade project. We have meetings scheduled with the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance in December to get their approval, and then we can go ahead and order the equipment for our network upgrade project that was approved last May, the 500,000. And lastly, just wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Do we have the date for
Everything's going
the
well.
network?
You know, and you guys.
What's that? Somebody asked me.
Do we have the date for the Board of Selectmen meeting? So we.
One's the 3rd.
December 3rd is Board of Selectmen, and then currently scheduled, Board of Finance would be December 22nd.
And Dr. Mullen's not here tonight. She is accompanying our Teacher of the Year at the statewide reception.
Okay. Report of the chair. Try to be brief. Good evening. I want to begin by sincerely thanking my fellow board members for your confidence in me. Serving as chair is a responsibility I take very seriously, and I'm grateful for the trust you placed in my leadership. I look forward to working alongside each of you as we guide our district forward. As I step into this role, I want to share my first priority for the year: unity. Our board is comprised of individuals with diverse experiences, beliefs, and backgrounds. But when we walk in this room, we walk in not as political parties, not as factions, and not as opponents. We walk in as one board with a shared mission, doing what is best for children. Every decision we make should be rooted in that simple guiding purpose. If we keep students at the center, we will move this district forward together. And with that spirit of unity, I want to say something directly and openly. If any of us is holding on to something, a past conflict, a misunderstanding, or an unresolved concern, and you feel it may get in the way of our progress, I invite you to come to me. Let's address it, work through it, and repair it. We cannot move forward productively if we are dragging old baggage behind us. My door is open, and I'm committed to helping us build a board culture grounded in trust, respect, and collaboration. Finally, I want to speak to our community. One of my goals as chair is to strengthen communication and transparency. Our regular board meetings follow specific procedures, which means they are not the best place for open conversation. Because of that, I would like to commit to scheduling recurring open sessions where community members can engage directly, ask questions, and share concerns in ways that the formal meeting structure does not allow. Your input matters, and I want to make sure that we are creating consistent opportunities to hear it. Thank you again for the opportunity to serve. I'm excited for the work ahead, and I believe that we together can build a positive, united, and forward-moving Board of Education, one that always puts our children first. Thank you. Okay, report of student representatives from the board.
Right, so, starting with last Wednesday and going through break up to December 5th, we are doing a Thanksgiving food drive. We started kind of late this year because my class president, he kind of found that we weren't actually doing it. It was tied to a football game. We wanted to bring it back. I don't think we've had it in a few years at this point, so it feels nice to have something back. We had our high school play last week, phenomenal. Class was amazing. And then we are going to be having our musical auditions starting on December 1st, Mean Girls. Tomorrow is our half day, so we're all excited, but we also have an alumni panel for college students that have just graduated from a few years back coming, and we were asked to provide questions via Google Forms so that they can answer while they're there. Thanksgiving, we have our Thanksgiving home game versus Derby at 10 a.m. Hope you guys can go. Should be fun. We're also honoring Coach Allaire, who recently passed away during halftime. The engineering design development class, so the engineering capstone class has just started their project proposals. So that will entail they're introducing the project to the teacher, to classmates, and whoever would like to visit. That will lead into the capstone presentation in late May, early June. For December 11th, we have full day of activities where there will be an OHS club fair where the incoming freshmen, so this year's 8th grade class, will be touring around the clubs from around 8 a.m. to just before OHS lunch, I believe this year. It was a little later when we did it in May. But a lot of clubs got a lot of signups, which were good, and we're trying to do that again. And both the principals of engineering class, so the junior class and this engineering design development classes are going to University of New Haven to tour the Tagliatella College of Engineering to broaden their horizons, to see if UNH is a school that they'd be interested in. And that's all I have for now.
So we have just two more things. We just recently had our Powder Puff game where the seniors went against the juniors, the seniors won. And they had another Powder Puff game, I'm sure it's Derby. And about the OHS Club Fair, the athletic director, AP Houston, selected students from the high school to start figuring out questions so that we can start to speak to the incoming freshmen about certain things such as bullying, which came up as a concern. Them being nervous, like, oh, is there bullying? How do I navigate if there is bullying? And generally switching lunch waves came up a lot. And there was just a whole sheet of papers that the 8th graders had to answer, and we went through those and selected certain high school people to represent those questions and be like, hey, it's not so scared.
What was the score for the Derby Powder Puff game? Did we win?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. We did win.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. At this time, Board of Education committee reports. Bobby, can you give us a facilities update?
Sure. First thing everybody needs to be aware of is that Herman Schuler has requested that we take possession of the HVAC work that was done at Quaker Farms. He wanted it done tonight. Ralph and I pushed him off because when we took possession of the middle school, board members did not have an opportunity to ask questions, see how things were done. So there will be I believe there will be, correct me if I'm wrong, Ralph, there will be an opportunity to hear about how things are going at Quaker Farms in terms of HVAC in our next meeting. And then we will not be voting on taking possession until our second meeting in December. So it's just us being able to vet what happened over there rather than it being sprung on us like it was with the middle school. We do need to approve by 12/31 in order for us to take advantage of the $637,000 that is the grant that was given to us through the state. So the opportunity to ask questions and make sure we're doing everything right, everything was done over there correctly, is gonna be on the 2nd, is that right? I think that's the 2nd. Our next meeting is the 2nd.
Yeah, that's the work.
And then
That's
we'll vote
workshop.
on the actual taking of possession on the 16th. Noah kind of gave the update down at CES. The leak was found inside of the building, which helped us on cost. Rather than digging up the asphalt and the line coming in to the facility, which means, we spend less money, which is good. We do have an obligation with Monroe to provide those services. We have an agreement with them. This is basically related to our 18 to 21-year-old students that we have, so that they can have access to a classroom, not just in Monroe, but also here, as well as having the opportunity to get to their internships or jobs that happen because of that program. That's about, I asked Noah about whether or not the leak at the high school created us a big, huge water bill. Doesn't look like that's what happened. But other than that, I think that's it for facilities, unless Ralph or Noah, you have anything that I may have missed.
Okay, moving on to curriculum.
December 8th is our next meeting. And I'll talk to Eric and figure out an agenda, and let Dr. William as well.
I'm sorry. We may need, whoever leads the facilities meeting after tonight, we may need to shift when we have that meeting. It may need to happen between the two meetings rather than before the first meeting. And we're gonna look into that depending on who's on the facilities committee meeting, at that time. Sorry. to interrupt.
That's it.
Okay, policy.
Our next meeting is December 4th at 5:45. It's a virtual meeting. If anyone's interested in joining, please feel free to reach out to me. I can tell you what you need to know about it, if you have any interest in it at all.
It's 12:04.
Yep, it's always the first Thursday. We do it virtually at 5:45. We're usually done by 6:15. I say that jokingly, but we do all of our reading ahead of time, so we're prepared and we're efficient in what we do. There is a lot of work that goes into the committee, but the meeting itself goes quickly.
Sue expressed to you interest, correct?
She did, yeah.
Okay, anything else? Nicole?
No, that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, Bobby, do you want to give the finance update?
I think it's probably better if you did that.
Sure.
I'll add if I need to.
I believe our next meeting is, Noah, do you have that on the top of your head?
So the next scheduled one is December 17th. But as we discussed in the committee, we're looking to do one the week before, so, I'll be reaching out to the committee, or at least to you, Mike, this, we're looking at either December 10th or 11th. We have been in contact with Chuck, of Brown and Brown, our, medical and dental insurance, broker. So we're trying to work with him to have him be able to attend, so he can answer any questions for the committee. So that'll be a big, insurance bill is a big piece of that.
Great. I know, we've worked on the calendar for the budget process. We've kind of gone through trying to time things. I believe, one of the open-ended questions from the last finance subcommittee meeting was when we have to deliver our budget by. Have we gotten an answer yet on that?
We have, re-inquired, to see if there's been anything published. We haven't gotten an update yet.
Okay. We'll follow up on that. At this time, I think there's not too much between now and the next meeting, but we'll be in contact and we'll make sure that, what's that?
The non-lapsing fund.
Yes, so the auditors, were just in, last Thursday. So they're working to give us the final number. But according to them, we are able to keep it, and it does not return to the town. It's currently housed in the central activities bank account as a separate fund. We may look at establishing a separate bank account just to keep it a little cleaner, because it has to be a due from whenever it's in a different fund bank account. But they did confirm that the money that the board chooses to retain stays with the board. That
It does not go back to the town.
correct.
All right. So in terms of the new account, is that something that the auditor is gonna require us to do?
They did not require us to, so they had Howard set up a new fund last year but again, it's a due from in the central activities bank account. They said we can create a new one if we want, it's kind of our choice. I think my preference would be to just create an account because it's only really being used for, additional things, or it's really an earmarked account. But we can certainly talk about it in committee. But they said it has to be a separate fund. The banking, they kind of left off to us.
I have a question, for that non-lapsing fund, in the past, we've done a motion as a board to move the balance to that account, so I don't know if that's something that at some point, once the auditors have finished, that we could, document, dot the i's, cross the t's, so we know what's been moved out of that.
And keep it transparent on that, so people know what the number was. Okay,
Good news, no. Thank you.
thank you. School Business Partnership Committee, I think we're waiting for the completion of the communication audit before we schedule our next meeting. Ralph, do you know where we are with the communication audit?
Yeah, our goal is to have a presentation to the board on February 10th.
Excellent,
That's the plan.
sounds great.
Are you gonna, I have one question, are you gonna come to the communications curriculum committee, or are you just gonna come right to the board? Are we just gonna go, cause it's usually part of curriculum and communications.
Well, we can look at timing. We may need a special meeting, because it's very tight. So,
Just let me know.
Okay, liaison reports, PTO. Well,
I did not attend, it was my birthday. But so many great things have been happening with PTO, lots of field trips are being funded, lots of just great stuff. There's some secret stuff that's happening too, that's really exciting. And you'll hear about that soon enough.
excellent. Stacy, would you like to give the Booster Club report?
Yeah, sure. They're going to be having the Festival of Trees starting on December 12th at 5 o'clock. It'll start with pizza with Santa. The holiday market is the next day, December 13th, along with the holiday concert. The doors will open at 10. All the money that is raised with the trees and the wreaths and the blow ups all go to charities. The 3 charities are Safe Haven, Oxford Animal Shelter, and Team Heating Assistance. And over the past 2 years, they've raised $7,000 for charity, which is pretty amazing. On top of everything they do for the high school. I think they're like super people.
Okay. At this time, audience and citizens, do we have anyone who'd like to speak? Just give your name and address. To new audience and citizens, just give your name and address.
Yeah, Kevin Cox, One Skyline Drive. Just want to introduce myself, I'm owner of Prestige Landscaping, say thank you. We look forward to working with you guys.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Any other audience and citizens? Okay, I don't believe we have an executive session that I'm aware of.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?